Go away.
I'm on 5 Live tonight at 10 o'clock. If you want to see the video of the MLAs, bbc.co.uk.
Who in the right mind would look at that?
There's a picture in that video of me with my top off.
Ah, why
She
so?
put
Edit that
us
out.
down the highway, barely making it, holding up the line at 10 miles an hour. Smoke coming out of that rusty old wagon. Looks like she been running for 20 long years. She finally makes it to the gasoline station, gets out of that wagon, hair long and wild, boots on her feet, army green jeans. Something about her made me uneasy. She asked the man how long till the next time. She asked the man, 6 miles to McKinney. I'm standing in line, Coca-Cola in my hand, looking at the chicken on the heating lamps. She walks up to the counter in a ragged old sweater, smells like a dog been lying in the sun. She asked for camels and a gallon of gas. Yeah, baby, that should last. 6 miles to McKinney. Camels on the counter by the bathroom sink. Something smelled funny when I walked in the door. No locks on the stalls and I went for the wrong one. Needless to say, I was a little surprised. I let out a scream, but she just laughed at me. Yeah, she just laughed at me. 6 miles to McKinney. On the telephone wires, the crazy look in her eye, the hair black and wild. I couldn't get that woman out of my mind. I can see us riding in that wagon together, waving to the man at the gasoline station, blowing by every sign. 6 miles to McKinney. 6 miles to McKinney.
That's a good song. That's a song called 6 Miles from McKinney, which is a town somewhere in America which nobody knows anything about. It's McKenney. I know nothing about it. That's Claire Holly, Holley, no relation to Buddy, who's dead. And that's an album called Dandelion, which was out in 2003, which by any mathematical calculation is about 7 years ago. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme, good morning, is 08459 555, or should I say good morning. The number to contact this programme is, I'm getting everything around the wrong way. That's what's called a spinnerism. Oh, what's the number? I gave my mobile number to a man the other day. 08459 555 678. That's it. Sometimes when I give them the number in this programme, I give people my mobile number. That's ridiculous because 15,000 people rang me that day. 08459 555 678. The email address is gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. And a number of people have sent me emails already during the course of the night, many people who can't sleep. And the text messaging service is 81771. I mentioned yesterday there's a man going to burn the Quran, and people are concerned about that. And other people suggest that he burned some Hugo Duncan CDs as well, but I thought that was a wee bit too far. But here's another man who says, I plan to burn a mound of our boys in Ireland's own on High Street in Clogher at 3 o'clock on Sunday. No politician will stop me. Well, I can't stand in the way of a man who wants to burn Ireland's own and boys' own. And what was the other one? Boy, what was that? Our Boys. Do you remember that? Maybe you don't. When I was at school, I used to read that. No, there's a man on TV who's a very good friend of this programme, and as a matter of fact, he sat in for Hugo. So I mean, what greater compliment is that? Malachi Cush, and people are writing in because it was mentioned the other day that Malachi's smile is a wee bit odd. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. Apparently his smile is a wee bit unnatural. So a gentleman called B. Simpson says it hasn't improved. Malachi's smile would not look out of place on Fred West. That's a little bit unkind. He needs help, and may I suggest one of the best smilers in the game, Daniel. Daniel can smile with the best of them. Well, Daniel can smile better now, even though, of course, he hasn't had any plastic surgery done, but he seems to look as if he can smile better. His face seems to be very even. But then again, he told me one time, whenever he stays in Tenerife for a long time, his complexion gets clear. He can turn on the grin at the drop of a hat. Anyone who can remain cheery whilst delivering such unrelenting piffle to an audience who are identical deserves a gold medal. Now, that's a cruel thing to say about Daniel O'Donnell's audience, who are fine people, and many of them born children. Who better to advise poor Malachi? Well, you see, Malachi should get together with Daniel, because if one man knows about show business and knows how to smile, it's Daniel. On tonight's show, Malachi stated, tonight's show? That would have been yesterday. On tonight's show, Malachi stated, I'm almost drowned. And to a young lady who shall be nameless, he said, there's no history of sheepdogs in our family. Quality broadcasting must go. I have various religious books to burn this Sunday. It's the Christian way. With your permission, I'd like to become your TV correspondent specialising in Malachi Cush. I predict there's a whole new word of Cushisms. Jackie Fullerton will have nothing in this guy, and I want to be the vanguard of a new language that will rival Ulster Scots in taking grammar to a new level. Now, let's not be unkind to Malachi. Malachi's a nice guy and a friend of mine. I must watch this smile to see if anything can be done remedially. It's obviously a smile of terror.
Well, my plane touched down in Belfast on the coldest day of the year. Storms out of the Arctic nearly blew us out of there. Smoke upon the skyline from a million coal fires, calling back the memories when I was just a child. Oh, Bellamina Agnes, she's all adrift at sea.
Many requests for this.
She can't remember when she loved me. Tired old people in old rocking chairs. She looked up like I was a stranger, like I was never there. And I prayed that she'd remember. See life there in her eyes. I walked out like I was broken, couldn't let you see me cry. Oh, Bellamina Agnes, she's all adrift at sea. She can't remember when she loved me. I woke up before the daylight. The house was dark and still, and I heard foghorns on the ocean from a boat all lost at sea. And I'm looking to the future with tears all up inside. I can't get back to see you, I still can't say goodbye. Oh, Bellamina Agnes, she's all adrift at sea. She can't remember when she loved me. Oh, Bellamina Agnes, she's all adrift at sea. Loosen off the tether and let your boat run free. Oh, Bellamina Agnes, she's all adrift at sea. She can't remember when she loved me. She can't remember when she loved me.
Right, that's a song called Ballymena Agnes. That was performed by a gentleman called Phil Davis, an Australian person who was in here last Friday, and he did a gig with a fellow called Rory Fayfield, who was also in here last Friday at the Black Box on last Tuesday night. And apparently it was a great success altogether. Are those microphones working now? Martin Lynch is with me. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, Gerry.
You're just in the door.
I am indeed.
Hold on a minute, a record just started. And who's this young lady with you?
Donna, introduce yourself.
My name's Donna O'Connor, and I am performing in Martin's new production of A Night with George, which is opening in the Opera House this coming Monday, running through to Saturday the 18th.
I will talk to you about that in a minute. Now, Martin, you must be, your feet must be really off the ground after the success of that. Who's this?
This is Tony Devlin, the director of A Night with George, who's just arrived fresh from doing Stones in His Pockets in Gaelic in New York.
In Gaelic?
In Gaelic.
You're not serious.
Jack of all trades, Gerry.
My God. But you must be really delighted with the success of Dancing Shoes, George's Best musical. It must have been really a really fill-up for you.
Overwhelmed, really way beyond our expectations. Dancing Shoes went through the roof in box office terms and critically, and punter acclaim on all sides. It was just fantastic.
It was great. The night I went to see it, I really enjoyed it. So what's next for that then? You know, there's a bit of a hiatus.
Yes.
What happens now?
Yes, we've kind of outlined the plan for next year, this time next year. Unfortunately, we can't get the slots that we need earlier because the demand for it is so much. Like, I have to say, the last week of the play, we announced 3 extra nights at 11 o'clock on Tuesday, the last Tuesday, and they were sold out within 24 hours.
You're not serious. I didn't know about that because I was away.
That's right. Well, 3,000 tickets were sold out inside 24 hours.
But are you not going to tour this?
Yes, well, the idea is to come back next August, do another few weeks in the Grand Opera House, then to Dublin, then Manchester, obviously where George Best is from. And we think Glasgow's a good city for it as well. And then, believe it or not, knock knock, we're hoping to finish in Stoke City.
You see, I'm waiting for that. Donna, what about you? You're next up.
I'm next up on Monday night in the Grand Opera House. We kick off then. A Night with George.
A Night with George is, of course, A Night with George Clooney.
Yes, it is indeed.
Now, Martin, you didn't write this. This young lady wrote it herself, didn't she?
That's right. I came and saw the show. I mean, Tony and Donna make up Brass Neck Productions, which is a West Belfast professional theatre company. By word of mouth, people are on to me, you got to go and see this A Night with George. And I can't, all right, calm down, I'll see it. So I'd been on for about 3 months. It kept popping up in different centres and clubs. And I said, right, I'll go and see it. I never went. And eventually my daughter came home from Northfront Hall and couldn't tell me about it from laughing. She actually couldn't get the words out because she was pointing out various scenes and things she said in one-liners. So I fired down to the Waterfront Hall that night. And I can tell you, Jay, I have never laughed so much. It's right up there with Women on the Verge of HRT, with The History of Troubles. It is a laughing minute. It is brilliantly written. It's one of the best plays to come out of Belfast in, I would say, 10 or 15 years.
That's praise indeed, Donna.
Well, I can also mention the woman who was behind the whole concept, Brenda Murphy. She approached Brass Neck with the first draft of the play, and we knew there was a diamond in there, so collaboratively we got together and we made the play what it is now. And I would urge anybody who needs a tonic, come to the Opera House, and I guarantee you will laugh. And you will end up going out that door feeling that you have had a tonic.
Well, I need a physic. Is that the same thing?
Not quite, but I can do that for you as well, Gerry.
But you wrote it yourself?
Well, I co-wrote it with another woman called Brenda Murphy.
Brenda co-wrote it?
Yes.
So what was the idea behind it? What's this George Clooney thing?
Well, Brenda was a tutor in a creative writing class, and it was basically for women returners and stuff like that. And in their break one time, they were talking about what they'd done at the weekend, and one woman had been out celebrating the anniversary of her marriage, which had kind of ended a long while ago.
Kind of ended.
And what she did was, she was out the night before and had a few drinks and pinched a cardboard cutout. It wasn't of Clooney, but of someone else outside the picture house in the Dublin Road. So then Brenda thought that this was a great vehicle, which it is indeed, of doing a play. So this is where Brenda got her idea from, and this is what we built on.
So what idea happens, Gerry? You're going to the theatre. This woman arrives back from night out with this big, large cardboard cutout of George Clooney,
Right.
sets it down beside her, goes and get drinks for her and George, and begins to tell George about her life. And it is the most incredible life you ever heard. Honestly.
So when is this on?
Well, we start Monday night, Monday the 13th in the Opera House, and we're running right through to Saturday, and we have matinee shows on the Friday and Saturday as well. So I would urge all your listeners out there, you need a tonic, come to the Opera House and we'll give you one.
There's a quote here and says, there isn't a woman in Belfast who wouldn't do 6 months for George Clooney.
Absolutely. It's just you guys are all such a bitter disappointment.
But George Clooney is great. He's I watched a few clips of him on talk shows there recently for another reason. He's very funny. He's a very smart guy. Like, you know, he's a great example. He's the ideal, every woman's ideal man, isn't he? He resembles me a lot.
I think so, Gerry.
think?
Yeah.
Well, Gerry, Tony has been in touch with him, so maybe Tony will tell us about
Tony,
that.
tell me about that.
Well,
Geraldine.
Geraldine Hughes is a good friend of ours, and she's actually patron of our company. Geraldine, the West Belfast actress from the recent Rocky movie.
That's
and Gran Torino. So
I recognise you now. I know you. And
Where do you know me from?
Hair.
I know I used to have her,
I
and
remember
then
you
I
now, I
directed
didn't
this play,
recognise
and I dragged it all out, Gerry.
This man's completely baldy now.
So, yes, Geraldine is patron of our company. She came along and seen the show. Absolutely adored the show. Informed me that she was quite friendly with George Clooney. She knows Danny DeVito quite well. She's Danny DeVito's babysitter. Danny DeVito and George
How
Clooney.
can
Are
you
you with
tell
me
the
here
baby
now?
from Danny DeVito?
Exactly. Now this is 7 degrees of separation. So she knows Danny very well. She was out babysitting in LA. She brought the poster from Belfast over to Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito gave it to George Clooney, and George Clooney now wants to know when it's coming to America. So fingers crossed. Depending on how well it goes here.
Donna, what would you do if you did it in America and George Clooney was sitting in the audience? What would you do?
Well, I mean,
You'd pee yourself, wouldn't you?
I would. Well, if I turned round on stage and it wasn't a cardboard cutout and it was George, I'd just say, "Tell you what, folks, this is the shortest show ever. That's all there is now. See yous, I'm away."
And I'd want to know how we're paying him.
I would sort him out.
So that's
Tony.
Monday night in the Grand Opera House all week, matinee and
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday. Martin, you're becoming a bit of an impresario. You're getting away from this kind of writing it completely.
I don't know.
Becoming Barnum and Bailey.
I'm beginning to worry about myself at times.
You have another show coming up too.
Yes, we have Stormont by the very, very talented Sean Crummy.
Sean Crummy, of course.
Who wrote Folks in the Hill, the creator behind that, and he does these amazing impersonations. So we've done this play where he slags off Stormont, and it's incredibly funny. He does all the voices, he does all the characters, but it's a play. It's a full play. It's not cartoons.
It's not sketches.
No, it's a fully blown play about an incident at Stormont. And this is the extraordinary thing. The play's based around some environmental protesters taking over a room at Stormont. And Sean Crummy hit on the idea of this chicken incinerator, and this is a year ago when he was writing it. Lo and behold, the day we started rehearsals, what do you call the minister, Poots announced that he was given the all clear for this chicken incinerator. So our play is the Stormont play is highly topical, and it runs at the Theatre de Mill. I think it begins next Wednesday.
You see, that's the thing about Northern Ireland. You can't. I mean, when you write something ridiculous, it happens. I mean, for instance, I'm sure you're as excited as I am about the opening of the Coca-Cola bottling plant in Lisburn. You see, we're getting very excited about that. So that starts in when is that? Wednesday the 15th, next Wednesday in
yes.
Newton Abbey Theatre at the
Theatre
Mill.
de Mill, yes. But Tony, Gerry, I just want to say the reason why this all these plays are coming up. The talent in this place is there's so much talent. Well, I go to the Edinburgh Theatre Festival regularly, and the Irish plays top the heap. The Irish plays are the best plays. The plays that have come out here in the last 10 years have travelled the world. whether it's Tinderbox or whether
It's the same in the music, Martin. It's because of the end of the Troubles. There's a flowering. People who are up in their bedrooms now go out and they're mingling with people and they're getting things done.
there seems to be all
Yeah.
of that. There's a freedom, a cultural freedom, an ideological freedom, a social freedom now that's emerging.
The next 5 years in Belfast is going to be the most important 5 years in Belfast history, because after 5 years it'll end up like Dublin. But
Yes.
and everybody will be nobody will speak to anybody. But the next 5 years are going to be wonderful.
Not to mention 2013 in Stroke City.
Of course, I'm
which-
geared up for it.
which
I'm the
is right in there.
centrepiece.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, thank you very much, Donna. Remind you again, A Night with George Clooney and the Grand Opera House Monday right through to Friday and Saturday matinees and Friday and Saturday, and Sean Crummy with It should be called Stormont, of course.
Yes,
It's
of
misspelled
course.
here. It's Stormont.
No, that's the proper spelling, I have to tell you. What do
You mean
call
it's
him?
not Stormont?
Sir,
It's
Sir,
actually
Sir
Stormont.
William Craig made sure that it was Stormont.
So that's in Newton Abbey Theatre at the Mill on Wednesday, 15th September. And thank you. What's your name? Sorry,
Tony.
Tony. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm very
Tony
bad.
Devlin.
Tony Devlin. Thank you, Tony, for coming in. See you all later, folks.
Thank
Thank you
Jack.
so much for having us.
Some men, they like women who drink lots of beer. Some like the ladies that dress in leather gear. Some men, they like women who don't have much to say, but a girl with a banjo takes my breath away. She may play out of tune, she may play out of time, sitting on her front porch, 6 fingers on the wire. She's my deliverance, she's my heart's desire. Girl with the banjo sets my world on fire. She may not grace the pages of a fashion magazine, may not be a princess, some kind of beauty queen, sitting with her banjo perched upon her knee. Sweeter than the moonshine on a summer breeze. Love to watch her play that thing, clawhammer style. She can try her banjo rolls on me any old time. I can tell you something cannot be denied, that a girl with the banjo sets my world on fire. Her foggy mountain breakdown brings me to my knees. Won't you skinny dip in the cement pond, baby, with me? Tune it up and let it bring and roll around my way. Girl with the banjo, let me hear you play. Foggy mountain breakdown brings me to my knees. Would you skinny dip in the cement pond, baby, with me? Tune it up and let it ring and roll around my way. Girl with the banjo takes my breath away.
I wonder, would you believe me if I told you that I have no idea who that was or what that was? Oh, do you know what that was? That's an amazing thing. That's a hidden track on Phil Davidson's album, which is called The Edge of It All. I played a track called Ballymena Agnes, which is the last track on that. So I made a mistake and it went on to the next one, and I thought there wasn't one. I played it by mistake. There's a 12th track on it, and there's no register of it here. My God. Just goes to show you what happens when you don't look at anything. Gerry, you were recently looking for a shoe mender or a cobbler. There's a place in Cumber called Left Shoes Done Right. Thank you for that. Your new Indian name should be Sinking Chair. Well, that's a reference to a chair I was using this past couple of days. I was talking about the Sitting Bull's wives the other day. One of them was called Seen by the Nation. You should have called her just Jordan. Morning, Gerry. Could your listeners tell me if it is illegal for my boss to tell me when to take my holidays? Nolan wouldn't tell me. He wouldn't. He's too busy kicking Barry McElduff. Where can I get Maureen Lafferty's book? She was on the programme yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Maureen Lafferty's a girl, a woman who lives in England, but she left Donegal when she was 5. And she wrote this audio book. Well, how can you write an audio book? Yeah, you write an audio book, but she didn't record it herself. Another person recorded it. And I've been listening to it this past couple of days. It's unbelievably good. After I finish it, I'm going to talk to her about it. And then we'll find out where people can get it. It's Ian here. I'm a trucker risking life and limb to get the meal out to all those chickens. Could you please tell all those lorry drivers at McLaren, would they help me, please? There's a man in serious trouble. Serious trouble. Look, here's a poem from Seamus Heaney's sending me stuff again. It's called Why the Long Face. See the people that you meet, frowning, scowling on the street. He always sends me poems to make sure that, I give them an airing to see if they work. See the people that you meet, frowning, scowling on the street. Zombies walking through the mall, waiting for the axe to fall. What's the cause of all this worry? Eyes downcast, the fearful scurry, brain filled with apocalyptic vision. Worry is part of the human condition. A bit of rhyme in there. It's an improvement. Think of lilies in a row. They do not plant, nor do they sow. They do not worry about tomorrow. Why are you filled with so much sorrow? The reason for the doubt and fear. We just don't know why we are here. And another reason for feeling blue. We don't know where we're going to. Oh, that's good. Just yesterday, a lass or lad. Now you're a mum or dad. Love can make you dance and sing and produce more of this human thing. Will the circle be unbroken? We enter life without a token. Everything goes round and round. No explanation has been found. The human race is lost in space. A good reason for the sad long face. Everyone is on death row, but you'll never know when you will go. That's a cheerful little ditty. I think I'm warming to it. Please stop the world, I've heard some say. I just can't take another day. We each get off at our own station, yet no one knows our destination. Yes, that's the reason why we frown. This great big world goes round and round, a member of the human race. That's the reason for the long, long face. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I think he lost it a wee bit at the end, I'm afraid. So. Hi, Gerry. I reckon Malachi Cush going to UTV is their gain and BBC's loss. He's doing a great job, from Joanne Nolan. Well, I agree entirely, because I can say that because I haven't seen the programme. You see, when you're as false as I am, when somebody says something positive, you say, absolutely right, even though you don't know if the person is telling the truth or not. I haven't seen Malachi. I'm going to watch him next Thursday. I don't care if he says I'm drowned or not. Good morning, Gerry. I'm glad it's nearly 11 o'clock. Good to get that depressing... There's a word here that we don't use on Radio Ulster. It's describing Nolan, and it's not fat. Tell Rubberneck. The Black Box was well attended the other night for Phil Davidson and Rory Faithfield. It was a seated gig with standing room at the back. All seats were filled and many bodies stood at the back and at the bar. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear that the people are going to hear good music. Back after the news with more of it.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. I'm Martin Montague. More details have been released about the murder of a man in Armagh last week. Police now say that 32-year-old Kevin Fletcher was the victim of a frenzied stabbing attack. They're appealing for anyone who saw him walking his terrier dog around 11 p.m. in the Castle Street area last Thursday to contact them. The Sinn Féin president, Gerry Adams, has defended Martin McGuinness over his recollections of a meeting with a priest alleged to have been involved in the Claudy bombings. In 2002, Mr McGuinness said he'd never met Father James Chesney. On Wednesday this week, however, the Deputy First Minister said he now recalled going to the priest's deathbed in 1980. Gerry Adams says Mr McGuinness has been completely honest.
He told me that he was going to put out the statement, and he told me it was because of the appeal from the families on the back of the recent report. Martin was on holidays out of the country when that report was released, and he told me when he returned that as soon as he got the first opportunity that he was going to add his voice to this issue in support of the family's right to the truth, and also to correct his earlier omission.
Reports from Afghanistan say a protester has been shot dead outside a NATO base during a demonstration against an American pastor's threats to burn copies of the Quran tomorrow. The head of a small evangelical church in Florida originally said he was cancelling the event on the 9th anniversary of the September the 11th attacks, but he now says he's merely postponed it. Boris Johnson has confirmed that he's planning to run for a second term as Mayor of London. His decision ends weeks of speculation that he would not stand again as a protest against possible spending cuts. A Belfast bar which featured a controversial drinks promotion has decided to end the all-you-can-drink for £25 offer. John Sherry of the Library Bar said he ran the promotion to compete with other premises which he claimed were flouting current licensing laws. Mr. Sherry says he now accepts that such an offer is not best practice. Time now for a look at the weather. Here's Angie Phillips.
A very pleasant and mainly dry day to come after the dull and damp start, with the cloud lifting and breaking up to give brighter sunny spells for the afternoon. Feeling quite warm too, with just a light westerly breeze and temperatures up to 19 or 20 Celsius, especially towards the southeast. Apart from a few showers, most places should continue dry tonight.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
There's been an accident on the Saintfield Road near Forestside. Motorists can expect delays in the area. In Newton Abbey, there is a lane closure on Scullions Road from Sandy Noise roundabout to Mollusk Road until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Finally, if you come across any delays, you can call the travel desk on 9033 8655 or text on 81771. Josephine Long reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On the Friday edition of Talkback, Burn a Quran Day, an international crisis is created by one pastor who sometimes has as little as 30 people in his church on a Sunday. Is the media to blame for turning this molehill into a mountain? One child died every 3 weeks. What do their unmarked graves reveal about abuse and neglect in a church-run institution in Dublin? And this time, it's a Protestant church that's under investigation. And the Newry Louts who are holding a neighbourhood to ransom. That's Talkback today. Give us a call, 08459 555 678. Our lines are open from 12 noon.
Thank you, William. That's Talkback at 12 o'clock. More calls for ritual burning of our boys in Ireland's own. I don't support that, of course, in any way. And here's a person who says, can you please play any Shandy Shaw for my mum who's picking strawberries in Ballinderry? Well, I don't have any Shandy Shaw. What about some Lager Gaga? Here's a song I haven't played for a very long time. It's Rodney Crowell from an album called The Houston Kid. It's kind of a monologue, I suppose. It's called Highway 17.
I put away 15 grand doing one-night stands, mostly liquor stores and filling stations. Me and this peeping Tom by the name of J.D. Swan and any number of his odd blood relations. This was armed robbery in 1957, and mostly our getaways were clean. Then I'd pay off the boys and bury my bread out on Highway 17. I had 5 kids and a wife with one dress and a yard full of cars that wouldn't run. My 2 oldest boys, they were on to my noise. They despised what their daddy done. But I did my thing the best that I could, making plans by the light of day. And the night would fall and it was time to call, and I was always on my way. Now J.D., he was crazy and he was inbred and he drank whiskey like it was going out of style. You know, I should have seen it coming, the writing was on the wall. He was getting just a little too loose and wild. And he made his mistake out on Airline Drive. You know, those North Houston cops are quick. They blew a hole in J.D. the size of Dallas and put a lump on my head with the brunt of a nightstick. You know that 5 to 10 in Huntsville ain't no good time, boys, but I walked that line, do you know what I mean? 'cause my mind was snug on that hole I dug out on Highway 17. I said my mind was snug on that hole I dug out on Highway 17. So I served my time only way I knew how, thinking big and making plans. All about the way I was gonna change the world when I get my hands on that 15 grand. You know, the E.W. and Herschel, my two oldest boys, they took care of their mom and their little sisters the best way that they could. Dealing dimes and stealing hubcaps, you know, pretty soon they were doing good. So I walked out those prison gates a free man on the first day of November 1963. I kissed my wife and I hugged my babies, but they didn't seem the same to me. You know, the boys looked on, they were already grown. It was written across their eyes and their faces. I'm the perfect sample of a bad example, gone forever from their graces. But baby, 6 long years and a lot can change, many miles beyond your wildest dreams. But a 6-lane wide modern interstate ride out on Highway 17. Lord, they sunk my ship 'neath the concrete strip out on Highway 17. Man, they broke my back, they built a concrete track out on Highway 17. Well, you know it ain't funny, but they buried my money out on Highway 17. It's gonna take a lot of whiskey and cigarettes to get me through this one.
She is juniper and roses. She is amethyst and pearl. And though she makes her home in Hollywood, she's really just a Berkeley girl. She's the breeze on Sunday morning, blowing down a country lane. She's got the style of Paulette Goddard and the smile of Joan Fontaine, and she drives a Carmen Ghia through the streets of Silver Lake and the hills of Echo Park. She is crinoline and satin. She is leopard skin and lace. Hard to believe that she believed in me when I was such a hopeless case. And she knows from love and service. Yes, she knows from peace of mind to be not sinister in purpose, and to never be unkind. And she loves a Tulsi garden, and she loves her rock and roll, and she's never far from my sure she'll always be my friend. So if you ever ride beside her, driving down the 101, be thankful that you're with a Berkeley girl who's beautiful beneath the moon and the sun.
That's a lovely song. That's Harper Simon, and that's from an album called, I don't know what it's called because it doesn't tell you. No, it's called Harper Simon, yeah. And the track is called Berkeley Girl. Right, a man with us who seems to spend more of his time out of the country than in it. Always a pleasure to see Ben Sands. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Gerry.
You're getting better looking.
Thank you kindly. Yes, everybody says that.
It must be the new national health food. No, you look as fit as a fiddle.
I'm reasonably fit, yes, also, apart from a problem with the middle finger of my right hand.
I didn't notice that when you came in.
Did you not?
No, tell me what this
Well, I tell you, it seizes in the morning, and I'm wondering, is there a lot of it about?
There could well be.
When I wake up in the morning, with my fist closed, of course, you never know what can happen in the middle of the night, the middle finger of my right hand is seized, and I have to massage it and be good to it for about 10 minutes before.
Well, have you been to the doctor about this?
Oh, yeah.
What did he say?
Oh, there's a team working on me at the present time.
They're working out on you?
Yes, I've had various needles stuck in different parts of me with no effect. But
really?
I have to go to the big doctor.
Really? We'll get to the bottom of it. It's on your right hand.
It is, but once it gets going, it's not so bad.
But see, you're not too bad. If it was your left hand, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
exactly.
Because that's the hand that you finger the strings with.
But
you can nearly get away with that.
I could, although I finger pick quite a bit too. But
oh, of course you do.
But I could get away with it better. Yeah,
of course you do. I didn't realise.
As the day goes by, it gets better, you know. And I don't know what it is.
Sorry,
somebody said it was trigger finger, but it's not. Have you heard of trigger finger? It's a known.
Not since the Troubles ended.
It's a known complaint, but they don't know what it is really.
So it's seized.
I'm just wondering, is it to do with computers? Some people have said that who use computers a lot suffer from this. But
there's a word for that which I can't remember. Do you use a computer a lot?
Well, from time to time. But
I have a friend on the programme with me, Sean Coyle. He's got a wallet like that. It's been seized 20 years ago. Listen, never mind your finger, if I may say that. Notice how I don't care about your finger. You've got a new album out now called Take My Love With You, which has gone down very, very well, I have to say, any tracks that I've played of it. People in particular love the title track, and I'm sure people know, if they listen to this programme, that was a song that you wrote for your daughter.
That's right. I wrote that for my daughter Kelly, who was getting married. In fact, funny enough, it's exactly 3 years ago on Tuesday, coming when I'm launching the CD, funny enough, in the Errigal. On that very date, it just happened by luck. But I wrote it for Kelly partly as a wedding present and partly to get me out of making the speech as father of the bride.
Substitute for speech.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. Not many men can do that.
No.
So I'll sing you a song instead of a speech. And you sang this at the wedding.
I did. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done musically in my life.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I've heard the song and it's very moving.
I couldn't even practice it.
How did you
know? And I was still writing it right up until the last minute, even as the coffee was coming round, I was still changing words. So I had to almost throw a switch in my head as if it was about somebody else. But
you must have been like a lump of jelly.
Yeah, still am.
No, I don't mean to say that you're put on weight. You know? So you say you're going to launch this in the Errigal Inn on the date, the anniversary of your daughter's wedding?
Yes, amazingly, that is just a pure coincidence, but that's on Tuesday coming.
That's Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 14th of September. That's in the Errigal Inn. Well, you appear in there in the Real Music Club, of course. And what's the crack with that? Are you there on your own or what?
Yes, well, I'll have a bit of a band around me, maybe, yeah.
I was as organised as usual.
I was talking to Martin Lynch there. He was in with you, and we were saying that's the trouble with coming from the country. You can't say I'm having a lunch on Tuesday. Saying I'm having a wee bit of a lunch. I wonder would you drop in? Like,
yeah. If you're passing.
All understatement, but yes, there'll be a band, and hopefully Kelly, my daughter, will be singing there as well.
Oh, really?
The old daughter, Ryan.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great. And you're also doing something a couple of nights after that in Newton Ards. Is that a kind of a...
Yes, well, Thursday in Newton Ards is with the Sands Family in the Webb Theatre. I think that one's gone, it's sold out, that one. But I'm in Donaghmore, which is close to Dungannon, in County Tyrone on Friday night. It's another launch concert over there.
In
the
Donaghmore.
Bardic Theatre. Very fine theatre, I believe.
Theatre.
It's a little village, Donaghmore, but I think it is a great theatre. I haven't been in it, but I've heard a lot of things about it.
There used to be a circular ballroom there. What was that called? Do you remember that? It used to be a very big modern place. It used to be a round place. It was called, I can't remember what it was called. I used to hate it. I used to be there all the time, and I used to get drunk before I went into it because we'd be playing in bands and stuff. And I was living in Cookstown at the time. I used to hate it.
Yeah.
Although it'll come to. It's near Dungannon. It's probably closed down now. It's probably still open. And people say there's a man on the radio saying he hates my ballroom. But Ben, before you carry on, I mean, you've had some really really popular songs in the past while back. That song that you did, Hug. I mean, tell me the story about that.
Yes,
That
well,
went
it's
really
a song
well.
I wrote a few years ago, and it was picked up by Imperial Leather, the soap people, who phoned me one day simply from London and said, would you mind if we used your song in a TV and cinema commercial?
And of course you said, oh, there's no need for any money at all. So I just want you to have it.
Let me think about it for 7 or 8 seconds. And they took it on, and they had found that one of their advertising guys had come up with a concept of huggable, snuggable skin and said, now go and find music for that.
I see, there you
and
were.
They went, well, I was there, but they went to
But
iTunes.
you were there before. You were there before.
Oh,
them.
I was there before them, waiting patiently.
You said to yourself, I know sometime somebody's going to market a huggable thing and I'm going to write this hug song and they better use it. Well, and another song which has been very popular in this programme, and I know because you and I did a big gig one time.
We did.
I really enjoyed that.
So did I too.
And the Cheesecake song, people love that as well.
Yes.
That's completely different. Those 3 completely different songs.
That's right. They're
Totally different
they're all going
songs.
very well. That cheesecake one causes me some problems in Germany because certain ladies of a certain age sometimes bring cheesecake to the concerts, maybe 6 or 7 of them, and afterwards I have to sit down there and take at least 1 slice from each and escape before they ask me which one was the nicest.
Well, I'll tell you what, you
very
might
dangerous.
be in trouble when you go to America. You know what cheesecake means there. These women coming along wearing bikinis sitting on your knee. Anyway, let's move swiftly on. Do you want to do a wee song for us? Do whatever you like, please.
Yeah, I'll sing one from the album there that I haven't really been doing very much, but I'll practice it for Tuesday night.
It's a good place to practice.
It is.
Oh, Bill, your friends around you.
Waking and sleeping, I think of you. Laughing and weeping, I think of you. Sunrise and sunset, all the day through. Most always, I think of you. Thriving in sunshine, I think of you. Watching the skyline, I think of you. Winter and summer, all the year through. Most always, I think of you. I often say I don't know where I'd be without you. Sometimes I hardly know my name. But just in case you read these words I write about you, you'll know my life can never be the same. Long nights in hotels, I think of you. town clocks and church bells, I think of you. Pizza and red wine and tiramisu. Most always, I think of you. I often say I don't know where I'd be without you. Sometimes I hardly know my name. But just in case you read these words I write about you, you'll know my life can never be the same. Waking and sleeping, I think of you. Laughing and weeping, I think of you. Sunrise and sunset, all the day through. Most always, I think of you. Most always, I think of you.
That's a lovely song. That's nice. That's
Thanks,
from the
Gerry.
album, of
Thank you.
course.
It is indeed, yeah.
It's from Take My Love With You. So listen, you're going to have to get yourself a radio show. Colin Sands has got his very popular radio show here in Radio Ulster, and Tommy has one in downtown.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
I did have one for a while, but it was in one of these piratical stations, I'm afraid, which we
fizzled
can't
out.
even mention.
Oh, you want to get with
it
the
was
big boys.
removed forcibly by the forces of security from the corner of the field in which the caravan was strategically placed.
I hope it wasn't one of those stations that moves its premises every night.
It did. This one, it was placed exactly on the border so that the law people in the south could say, "Oh, I think that's coming from the north. We leave it alone," and vice versa. So they left it alone for a long time.
The
Somebody
revenue man.
complained about it, yeah, and
I
they
know a
tweaked
few
it
guys
away.
kind of skulking about in the night with your transmitter. You know, it's not the BBC way. Let's put it this way.
No, absolutely not.
But you're still very active with the family, of course. You do. I mean, you're doing
Yes,
this one with them.
we get together whenever we can, but it gets more and more difficult because we do a lot of solo stuff. Tom spends a lot of time in the States. Colin does a lot across the water and also in Australia and New Zealand, and I do quite a bit in Germany and Denmark and places like that. So it's tricky enough to get us on the same continent.
But isn't it great to be in
Sometimes.
demand all the same? Nobody wants me at all. They don't want me anywhere. And Anne wails away as well, of course.
Yes, Anne's always around too, and it's great fun when we get together. We bring back our stories, some of them through, and new songs and run them past each other. What do you think of this? And sometimes they fit into the family setup, and sometimes they don't. They're just in another direction.
Well, when you're
But it's
touring on
good.
your own, do you get fed up at all, or do you enjoy it?
I love it, Gerry. I love it because I don't do it very often, not nearly as often as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like a retreat, you know, to get away on the road on your own and to stop off in hotels and have the whole day to yourself. And
get your head peace.
Aye. Yes, and that's very often when I would do most of the writing as well.
Get your head showered.
Because if the phone rings or a doorbell rings, you know it's not for you.
And you've not, and you've nothing to do except you can lie as long as you like in the morning.
That's the lovely
And all you have
thing.
to do is decide when you're going to have a bite to eat. And that's basically it. Like, and then as long as you
That's it,
show
and
up at 8 o'clock, wherever
get
they
there
bring
for
you.
the next gig, and there's a lot to be said for it.
Ben, well, would you sing "Take My Love With You"?
Yeah,
Would you
yes,
do that?
I would,
Because
surely.
I really love that. You've no idea how many people. Now, for instance, you know Ralph McLean.
I know Ralph. Yes,
Ralph, of course, Ralph cries every time he hears that song, and I'm told in good authority from Kelly, his wife, that he cries every time. So therefore,
Really?
she plays it as often as possible, just to annoy him, because she said she likes to see him weeping.
That's true love.
So if
there's no
Ralph is
doubt
listening,
about
get the hanky out. He's a big softy. No, but seriously,
And
this,
Ralph's wife's called Kelly as well.
That's right.
Oh, Kerry. Well, that's
Kerry.
That's very
Kerry's
close.
here.
It's very close because Kelly is the girl, the daughter that I wrote the song for. So I'll sing you that one, Gerry. Sure.
Oh yeah, please do.
Take my love with you wherever you go, o'er life's hills and valleys, through sunshine and snow. Look for the rainbow in skies blue or grey. Take my love with you each step of the way. It seems such a short while since you came along. You soon found your feet in life's flow. You lit up our lives with your smile and your song, bringing joy so much more than you'll know. You'd ride on my shoulder and climb on my knee. The years rolled along as they do, and you grew up as lovely a young girl could be. I'm glad to be daddy to you. Take my love with you wherever you go, o'er life's hills and valleys, through sunshine and snow. Look for the rainbow in skies blue or grey. Take my love with you each step of the way. And now comes a day that I've dreaded for years, when you'd become somebody's bride. But I'm happy to say that my worries and fears have changed to a deep sense of pride. For the wee girl who came all those rainbows ago and used to climb up on my knee will bring so much joy, so much more than she'll know, to the hearts of her own family. Take my love with you wherever you go, o'er life's hills and valleys, through sunshine and snow. Look for the rainbow in skies blue or grey. Take my love with you each step of the way.
Not a dry eye in the house. Ralph McLean sitting at home,
weeping and gnashing.
That's a great song, that.
Yeah,
that
it
really
struck a
is.
chord with a lot of people, Gerry. I suppose a lot of people can relate to it. A lot of people are either daughters or fathers.
Yeah, people can't articulate that, you know. The ordinary guy would have trouble articulating that, you see, because you get the average father, you know, not used to kind of talking about his feelings so much, you know, and his daughter get married.
To say it, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, to write it in the form of a song than in the form of a speech.
No, but you're a singer. That's that's the medium that you're most comfortable in. But I think it would be a mistake for a man who's not a singer.
It might be.
To get up at a wedding and sing that, you know, because you always there's always the Danny Boy syndrome. You know, they always start it too high. Oh, Danny boy, and they don't realise it always happens at a wedding. And then when they get to the high note, they can't make it.
They have to stand up in a chair.
Yeah. If you sing Danny Boy, you have to start, oh, Danny Boy.
That's right. Yeah,
if you're going to make it at the
one
end.
killer note near the end.
Listen, will you sing another wee one for us? Would you? I don't want to ask you in particular what to sing, but I have to ask you. These are the real popular ones.
Yes.
Would you do the wee hug song?
Oh, the hug song. Yes.
Would
Well,
you?
sure. I'll sing a bit of it.
Then you can do another one. You can do whatever you like. Then after that,
I'll sing a verse of this as well, or sing a couple of verses of the hug. But I wrote a verse for Desmond Tutu.
Did you?
The Archbishop of Cape Town, whom I met through a good friend of mine who's at that time chief executive or one of the chief executives of Concern worldwide, the charity that goes to disaster and war areas, and he's a good friend of Desmond Tutu's. And Tutu is famous for hugging people. You know, everywhere he goes, he throws his arms around people. So this friend of mine, Paddy McGuinness, said of a friend in Ireland who's written a song would suit you very well. So he sung it for Desmond Tutu, and I met up with him, and I gave him the CD. And he's away home to Cape Town with the CD in his hip pocket.
You're shameless.
But,
Shameless.
I know. I wrote a verse for Desmond Tutu. I remember I wasn't much older than 4, well, maybe 5 at the most. The go-to-school mornings were colder, no such thing as a bus. Our mother'd be searching for school bags, combing our hair the wrong way, as she buttered our toast and buttoned our coats. Here's what my mother would say: we all need a hug in the morning, and one at the end of the day, and as many as possible squeezed in between to keep life's troubles at bay. No matter wherever you ramble, your problems be great or be small, it is my belief for instant relief, a hug is the best cure of all. Now Archbishop Tutu from Cape Town continues to keep our hearts warm with his passion for freedom and justice and peace. He's a man of great courage and charm. His words have the power of persuasion to lead people into the light. But if you want to move mountains like Tutu, then hug everybody in sight. For we all need a hug in the morning, and one at the end of the day, and as many as possible squeezed in between to keep life's troubles at bay. No matter wherever you ramble, your problems be great or be small, it is my belief for instant relief, a hug is the best cure of all. Now when Adam was cast from the garden, feeling that life was unfair, his temper was starting to harden when Eve said, I've nothing to wear. But God in his mercy looked kindly, he gave his wide shoulders a shrug. I'll give humankind a small piece of my mind. So he created the hug thread. For we all need a hug in the morning, and one at the end of the day, and as many as possible squeezed in between to keep life's troubles at bay. No matter wherever you ramble, your problems be great or be small, it is my belief for instant relief, a hug is the best cure of all.
But one cannot argue with any of those sentiments. Could be verse about Desmond Tutu. Oh, sorry. Gentleman writes to me there, and he says, I don't have trigger finger. I sympathise with anyone who does. But he says he's got a thing called mouse forearm. Oh, God. Did you ever get that? He said it's incredibly painful. We have to put up with it until I win the lotto next week, or else go on the DLA like everybody else. A little jab.
Mouse forearm.
A jab. Mouse forearm. I welcome any suggestions for a cure, but in the meantime, I prescribe myself a course of Heineken, which seems to be working so far.
Okay, if it's working, keep at it.
Ben, thank you for coming in. It's great to see you. Let me just remind you that people out there that you'll be in the Errigal Inn on Tuesday night, the Real Music Club, launch your album. And also, what was the other one in Donaghmore?
The Bardic Theatre in Donaghmore. Tickets at the door there. Donaghmore, just outside Dungannon.
And I've discovered that the ballroom I was talking about is the Eden Dark.
Oh, Eden Dark, I've often
yes. And on Thursday, the 16th of September, you're with the Sands family, of which you're an integral part.
Yes.
In the Webb Theatre in Newton Arts.
That's it, Gerry.
And your new album is great. It's called Take My Love With You. And you can do now whatever you like, and then you can go away.
Okay. I'll sing a verse of one anyway.
Go
'cause I
ahead.
don't
Is this
want
on
to-
the album?
It is. It's one called "There's No Time Like the Present."
I see you're a great man for the Capodestra.
I am. I love the Capodestra because well, it allows you to use as many strings as possible.
Indeed, yes.
in
We used to
open
regard a
mode.
Capodestra as a sign of weakness.
As cheating, almost. I know that. It was scorned among rock men who loved to slide the fingers up and down.
But I wouldn't be a man who would denigrate a man for using a Capodestra.
Good. Glad to hear
Capo will be damned.
I'll sing a wee bit of it because it's a big problem for a lot of us to spend any time in the present time.
Okay.
We spend a lot of time in the past and worrying about what might happen in the future, that we spend almost no time in the present.
Okay.
That's the gist of it.
Thank you for coming in, Ben.
But thanks a million
Thank
for
you
having
for
me,
coming.
Gerry. It's been great.
Thank you.
There's no time like the present. It's the present I offer to you. The past went so fast and the future may never come through. It's all about seizing the moment, of finding the where and the how. There's no time like the present for the rest of your life starting now. You can drown in your dreams of tomorrow. You can puddle in pools of the past. You can wallow in guilt and self-sorrow, but don't let them last. If you're going through hell, then keep going. Don't grumble that life is unfair. Put your faith in your God and your boot to the board and just get the hell out of there. For there's no time like the present. It's the present I offer to you. The past went so fast and the future may never come through. It's all about seizing the moment, of finding the where and the how. There's no time like the present for the rest of your life starting now. The rest of your life starting now.
Good song that. That's Julian Vellard, Velard, and that's a song called Jimmy Dean and Steve McQueen. Right, a lot of messages coming in. People enjoyed Ben Sands particularly. Is that Ben Sands' song, Take My Love With You, on a CD? Yes, it is. That's what we've been talking about this last hour. It's on a CD called Take My Love With You. And just let me say that you can contact Ben, and you can get that online if you like. It's www.bensands.com. As simple as that. www.bensands.com, because you know it's available in all good record stores, but you can get it on the website. I think it's handier because you can do a record shop and you say, "Have you got Ben Sands' new song, Take My Love With You?" And he goes, "It's whatever's on the rack. It's whatever's on the rack there." What date is Ben Sands in the Bardic in Donaghmore? That's next Friday, not tonight, of course, but next Friday. Some other messages. What is this? Could Gerry tell me the opening and closing song in the film Calamity Jane? Well, I don't know. And here's a lady called Mary. She says, "I'm making jam in Green Island and I'm short of jars and would like to know if anyone has any." And please, these are text messages and various messages to the programme, so I don't want to be a prude and not read them out. Gerry, put a call out for a bathroom rug, 24 inches wide and 36 inches or more long. It must have a non-slip back. Gerry, I just bought your book for £1 in Oma Library. Gee, thanks. Gerry, mate, have you got The Bottom by Chris Christopherson? No, I haven't. A new musical about Elvis, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins is meant to be coming out and they're auditioning for Elvis. If anybody knows, let me know. And I lost a wee Westie in the Market Hill area. It has a tartan collar with Heidi on it. Could you please call it out? All right. Heidi! And could you please spell out slowly the surname of the fellow you played a couple of days ago singing a song called Open Your Eyes? And there's another message about that. Gerry, you played a piece of music by Stephen Dopapopoulos. Can you please, it's not Dopapopoulos. Can you please give the name of the album and the surname again? Many thanks, enjoys the programme. Well, it's a track called Open Your Eyes by Stephen Dolopoulos, which is nearly Dopapopoulos. Stephen Dolopoulos, Delopoulos. At a wild guess, I would imagine he's probably of Greek extraction. And that's from an album called Straight Jacket, which was out 2 years ago. The song's called Open Your Eyes, Stephen Dolopoulos, Straight Jacket, 2008. I can give you no more information. That's it. I'll play it again, though. It's a great song.
She brushes through her hair and draws another line, scuffles through her clothes and asks me for the time. The sky is getting grey, her hands are getting cold. Take me through the wind, captured in the woods, silenced in the glaze I never understood. I play my music well, you draw up your designs. Open your eyes, child, don't let it linger long. Open your eyes, child, don't let it linger long. We weren't very close, but brothers we became. He opened up the sky, then faded with the rain. Left here all too soon, with visits in the well. Ruins of the land, ruins of the light. Take me through the stream, across the ancient night. Highways being bought, children being nothing left but fear, let's wash it white as snow. You can take the bed, I'll keep my radio. Nothing left to say, guess it's time to go.
That's Stephen Dopapopoulos, Stephen Dolopoulos, and that's just from an album called, I told you about that anyway. That's a song called, where is it again? No, I will tell you again because it's important. It's called Open Your Eyes, Stephen Dolopoulos, from an album called Straight Jacket. You can get that online. Amazon, try that. And let me just remind you, those gigs, people are asking, on Tuesday, the 14th of September, which is next Tuesday, Ben Sands launching his album in the Errigal Inn. And then next Friday is down in the Bardic, you know where that is, Donaghmore. And then on Thursday, the 16th of September, that's next Thursday, in the Webb Theatre in Newton Ards with the Sands family. And this new album is called Take My Love With You. And the songs that he sang Hug, and he sang a couple of other songs from that album. Here's hoping for a great Monday show, kid. I can't wait for the weekend to pass until Monday comes and I hear your show. I looked at Tommy, my cat, who was posing nude for Mutt's magazine in the corner of the room. After all, we have to earn our income somewhere. Tommy, I said, do you remember the good old days when DJs would come on the radio and say, hi guys and girls, this is Dave Sparkle easing you into the week. Still do that in downtown. Tommy put both his hands behind his head, tossed his hair, pouted for the camera and said, I quite liked being eased into the week. DJs don't ease us into the week anymore. They ease us out of it, but they don't ease us in. They're all looking forward to the weekend. They're always saying, weekend coming up! But they never say, Monday coming up! They never say that. A little easing. One doesn't want to hit Monday like a brick wall. A little easing makes it easier to face the coming week. I wonder what's new in the hood. I wonder what's happening on the grapevine. I wonder what's the water cooler discussion at Sonny Graves' Undertakers and Special Mints Emporium this morning. Tommy slipped out of his sequined G-string and said, the Whispering Grass told me that Professor Richard Dawkins and Professor Stephen Hawkins were seen in the Holy Lands at the weekend looking for Jesus. And did the two learned men find the deity? Hard to say, said Tommy. Hard to say. Apparently the two of them met some students and got involved in a bottle party. The police were called and a riot ensued. A number of hurley sticks were confiscated. Professor Richard Dawkins, who had stuck to the Guinness, fell to his knees and said, just boys, protect us from the wrath of the PSNI, he screamed. I thought so, I muttered. Daytime atheists, the worst kind. After going to see Tony Blair in Dublin, the only footwear Tommy and I have left is a bedroom slipper, an old boot and a pair of flip-flops. Our entire shoes are gone. Oh, the Dubliners were hard on Tony Blair, as indeed were the Fury brothers. They called him everything. Invader, I yelled. Invader! Tommy got caught up in the general madness and roared, bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. In the evening I took Tommy on a literary tour of Dublin. We walked in the footsteps of James Joyce, Patrick Kavanagh, Brendan Behan and Ray D'Arcy. We sang on Raglan Road, evoked the spirit of the man, swam in the Royal Canal and laughed at the bags on Bagot Street. Then a great hunger came over Tommy and I. We went into a small dirty cafe and ordered a cup of coffee, 2 straws and the toasted heel of a pan loaf. That'll be €90, said a plump lump of a cuddy. I paid and got up to leave. Hey, yelled the minute waitress. What about a tip? Tommy was fuming. He stood there with his hands on his hip and yelled, yes, I'll give you a tip. Get out of the Eurozone. Go back to planting spuds and cutting turf again where you belong. The cheeky little rascal took off his shoes and threw them at Tommy. Another crime Tony Blair was asked for. He was hit on the face with a plimsoll. Not an easy thing to deal with.
Shadow of Samson and Goliath. Underneath these hills of green, the shipyards of Belfast, out on the Lagan, where my great-grandfather, he worked this machine. I can still remember my grandmother's house and running the streets of Orange Field, with the heart and the humor, the soul of this country still resonating inside me. I love this country. I love this soil. My heart is divided no more, 'cause I am a Belfast boy. I was taken as a stranger to another country, a pale-skinned child on a burnt frontier, with my life packed up in cardboard boxes, my life left half a world from here. I love this country. I love this soil. My heart is divided no more, 'cause I am a Belfast boy. Part of who you are is where you come from. So I ask some questions to make some sense, and I walked these streets, I walked as a child, and I took the long way home to find myself. I love this country, I love this soil. My heart is divided no more, 'cause I am a Belfast. I love this country, I love this soil. My heart is divided no more, 'cause I am a Belfast boy. Yeah, said I am a Belfast boy, and I'll always be a Belfast boy. Yeah, yeah.
That's Belfast Boy from Phil Davidson, who was in the show last Friday from an album called Edge of It All, and he left Belfast when he was 10 and has been living in Australia ever since. And when he sang it last week, he said he'd been waiting all his life to sing this on a show in Belfast. So great. Hi Gerry, just to say, this is from Paddy Gordon, just to say Ben Sands was absolutely brilliant, lovely sound from the mic, just one voice and a guitar hard to beat. And Paddy knows what he's talking about. And he tells me that Linda Welby, good friend of mine, one of my favourites, arrived in Toronto yesterday to perform at the Beach Festival this weekend. There you are, you see. All started for her on this programme, said he. Sorry, I'm just checking some emails before we go. Hope to see you at the open house this weekend. Can I recommend the Breach Harper, Steve Cooney gig in the Black Box tomorrow afternoon, and then the Dave Rawlings Machine and Old Crow Medicine show tomorrow night in the Marquee. Huge weekend this for music in Belfast, the open air festival, of course. Not forgetting C6 Steve and all those other people. Amazing. And there's Michelle, who likes to leave us with a thought. I heard a man once say, seize the moment. There were people in the Titanic who waved away the sweet trolley. Yes, there were. Oh, no, I won't bother. No, it's okay. I won't bother. Bother while you can. This is all we'll have time for. Goodbye. Back on Monday at 10:30. Have a nice weekend. Look after yourselves. This is Circadian. Stand Up. My favourite band. Dirty, dirty rock and roll. The only kind.
Times are changing. We're entering fall. But I'm not seeing no change at all. A record broken goes on and on. I ask myself, how could I be so wrong? That's nonsense, boy, you listen to me. Stay on there, saying you'd be a fool to leave the gates to the world. Now the bolt is shut. Somebody release me from the shrub. Stand up, and face the fire. Stand up, the future is out of sight. Stand up, got to clear the road. Escape this hell, yeah, the smart to behold. To hit the road, city to city, no fixed up boat plane. 1 to 100, no, I didn't care. For once in my life, my soul was sitting out there. Stand up, and face the fight. Stand up, the future was out of sight. Stand up, got to clear the road. Escape this hell, yeah, let's force to behold. Stand up, and face the fight. Stand up.
It's 12 o'clock. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Talkback with me, William Crawley.